Well, good morning, all. Welcome to another great day here. Sunday is supposed to be another warm day. So, to get right to the point, we come through one hell of a week. It's a Sunday today. Politically speaking, there's a lot of things that have happened that's been actually, well, I wouldn't call it amazing. I guess it'd be more like, what the hell's going on? We unfortunately have our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, who for however you lie in the political spectrum, is not doing anything for this country. And I know the flavor of the week is to support Trudeau because he was insulted by Donald Trump. Sucks to be him, I guess, realistically. Are we adults or are we little kids? I mean, this is coming from a guy who's sitting there that couldn't tell the truth if his life depended upon it. The Agacon, the first past the post, the pipeline, the carbon tax. I mean, good Lord, it goes on and on and on and on. The India trip, just, quantum physics, him wanting to play. It just, the guy's an embarrassment. This is the guy we have negotiating our free trade agreement, the lead. I mean, Freeland there. Yesterday, CBC opened up in the morning. Um, of course, I changed the title, but it was Trudeau and Freeland Save the Free World. And I looked at that and I'm like, it's from Aaron Wary, of course, the top liberal cheerleader from CBC, the liberal propaganda arm. And but it shows the epitome of where we're at. Yeah, like how does anybody actually believe that? How do you put that as a headline with a serious face without anybody laughing? And I get all kinds of letters from people saying like, "What the hell are you guys doing over there? Like, what are you guys thinking of? Like, what's the problem?" I can't answer them because I don't understand it half myself. How do we get to a point where we have a person, and I use that term loosely, where we have a prime minister person who just basically doesn't get it. He's if he wasn't last name wasn't Trudeau, he wasn't handsome, he wouldn't have had the votes. If he was some 260-pound guy, he wouldn't have the votes. If his last name wasn't Trudeau, he wouldn't have got in. And be honest with yourself. I mean, for Pete's sakes, what did he go out there and say? He hit every group he possibly could, promised to each group, even groups that aren't getting. He didn't come up with a solution to say let's bring it all together. No, he's out there saying, "Oh, this group's right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right." They can't all be right. That's impossible. Yes, it would be nice to think in a fantasy world that everything would work that way. It doesn't. And all you got to do is just look at history. Look at Canada lately. I know everybody wants to say, yeah, support Canada. You're not Canadian if you don't support Trudeau. Well, I will put it to this. How far are you willing to support a man who does not have this country's interests at heart? How far? And I was shocked when the absolute conservatives went, Andrew Scheer, they were supporting Trudeau because, I mean, that's just like, out of everything you could do, that wasn't even on the table. So it's kind of like, okay, what's going on here? Is this like on Ottawa? Is what people are saying about the MPs that they're just out of touch with us? A lot of us? Because, I mean, you look at what the guy has done, and I mean, think of it subjectively. What happened? So, okay, big deal. He called Trudeau weak and stupid, basically. Hell, I call him that. What would be what's wrong with that? The truth hurts sometimes. So I just don't understand where we're going. I mean, if you want to be patriotic, it's patriotic to the country, not to the leader. And this leader, if anybody's noticed, has not been supporting this country. So if you're supporting the leader, you're not supporting Canada. You're supporting his ego. And right now, um, all you got to do is start following the dots. And he needs this badly. I hate to say it, but his ratings going down because people are starting to catch on that he's not as smart as what he liked everybody to believe. He's rather stupid, actually. Um, he's been outclassed on the world stage. That's been proven. Um, so he needs this conflict. He needs people to come together, not because of Canada, because they need to come together. Oh, we support Justin Trudeau. And go read all the stuff. It's a lot of it's not about candidates. We support Trudeau and the Liberals. Very seldom times have I read, oh, we support Canada. No, it's about supporting Trudeau. And the only reason, like everything else this man does, it's to prop his image up. This has nothing to do with Canada. This is all about to make Justin Trudeau look good. And I hate to say it, the little potato. So my challenge is what has this guy done for this country? What has he done? He's empowered the left wing nuts. He's taken away, like anymore, you can't even have a goddamn conversation in this country anymore. He put such a rift between everybody, and that's what I'm saying. You go talk, you promise this group, they're right. You promise this group, they're right. And these groups that he's talking to are total exact polar opposites. So how can they all be right? Rather than bringing everybody together under the banner of Canada, no, we're going to split it up. Yeah, you're right because you're from this ethnic group. You're right because you're from this ethnic group. You're right because you're from this ethnic group. Canada as a whole, we've got no culture. And before you comment, go back, read what he said. That's his words, not mine. And so we're going to support this guy. And I beg everybody to really, really consider. You're not supporting Canada by supporting Trudeau. That couldn't be farther from the truth. And that's bullshit. All you got to do is go read and look at the history of this guy. Case in point, Creston, BC. He was apologizing for, as he quoted in the apology, being forward to the reporter, groping the reporter. Where's the stories in this? Where's his apology? Here he's berating everybody, looking like a real feminist. Yes, I'm feminist. Everybody should be feminist. And then this comes out. Well, the guy's full of shit. And I'm sorry to use such language, but I mean, we're getting to the point now where this isn't funny anymore. He's not like the pet dog. Oh, look at the nice tricks he can do on the lawn. Well, other than those few tricks he can do, he can't do much else, but he's cute. Yeah. And then he sleep on the couch for a while until you want him to do another trick and come out and say, gee whiz, do some yoga on a table somewhere with front of your photographer. It's ridiculous. You listen to the guy talk, and for a world that's pathetic. Yeah, I know people are going to come up, but Trump, we don't pay taxes in the United States. We pay taxes here in Canada. What affects us here is what this idiot's doing. I don't care what Trump's doing what he said he did. He's looking after his country. I mean, you can argue that all you want. The point is what is our guy doing? Rather than spending time running down Trump and, deflect, say, oh, don't worry about what's happening here, but look what Trump's doing. Well, what the hell does that got to do with here? Trump's not doing anything he didn't already promise. So why is everybody so surprised? Why? Because nobody paid attention. Yeah. Like, people got to start waking up here. And I mean, I'm sorry. And I don't mean, I'm not trying to lecture anybody. Well, I guess I am in a way. Like, read for Christ's sakes. Like, come on. It's all out there. All you got to do is put it together. If you're only going to read CBC, you're going to read CTV, you're only going to watch all three. That's it. Well, you're not going to get the real story. Dig a little bit. We had an argument the other day. A guy was telling me, he says, well, I don't care about the facts. This is my opinion. And I stopped and I thought to myself, well, you know what? That guy just summarized better than I could of how probably most Canadians are thinking right now, the ones that are supporting Trudeau. That's exactly it. I don't care about the facts. It's just my opinion that matters. And you stop and think about that statement. I mean, what does that tell you? And if that's not scary, you should be. Because that's basically what we're looking at for a leader. Facts don't matter to me. Listen to what he said. I answer questions. And I've gone through this before. All these town hall meetings he's gone through. Well, yay, he come out and he's talking to, I don't know. I've never been invited to one. I've never gotten any notification of where he's going to be. I would expect we're paying for this, that, they should send it out to the ridings and not, if he comes to my particular area, into Vancouver area somewhere, that we get, no. His supporters get it, the Liberal supporters get it. I'm not on the payroll, so I don't get nothing. And regardless, he doesn't answer anything anyways. What does he answer? Please tell me one thing that he has answered the question directly, other than chatter a lot. I'm not going to talk about the House of Commons because pretty much a lot of it's been there. But I mean, there's some good stuff there. I mean, inadvertently, you get the message after a while. Carbon tax. What the hell are we doing with the carbon tax? We're building a goddamn pipeline. Now you're going to tell me you're going to build a pipeline and tell us we got to pay a carbon tax? Yeah. Show me the last time government's been really good with your tax dollars. Exactly. I want proof that this is all going, and this bullshit, we'll go talk to the provinces. Well, you're just going to nationalize the frickin' tax. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, ask the provinces, it's up to them. Like we don't have nothing to do with it. That's the provinces. Well, you're the ones that McKenna's the one that's pushing it, and Trudeau. Oh, look at what we signed in Paris, the big party in Paris. So all I'm asking is people, look at history and look at what they're actually doing, and listen to what they're saying, or basically what they're not saying. If you're going to believe this stuff here, give me an example. I'm running for office. I get up and I'm going to give you a big speech. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say, my fellow Canadians, I'm here to tell you today that right now we are at the worst point in our country that we've ever been in any point in our period of history. Right now, we have to make a choice. Do we want to do things the right way or the wrong way to grow our economy, to grow our middle class? Do we want to make a change? And this is directly up to us. And each one of you have to ask that. Do we really want to make a change? Taxes are too high. We want to control the taxes. We're there for you, and we are going to control the taxes. That's my promise. The election, we want every voice to be heard. We're going to make changes. It's in the platform. We told you exactly what we're going to do. Our environment, very important, especially to Canada as a whole, because we've got such a diverse nation, coast to coast to coast, all there, north, south, east, and west. We're going to be there for you. We're going to be right beside you. We're going to be working hard right along with you. Why? Because we care about Canada and we care about its people. That is what's important. We want to see everybody succeed. We want to see everybody successful. We want to see people get educated. We want to see the cost lowered on education so it opens up opportunities for every person, man, child out there. That's my commitment to you. etc., etc., etc. Now, out of all of what I just said, what the hell did I just tell you that you didn't already know? Quite seriously. And that, if you listen, that's exactly what you're hearing. And what he's messing with, the things he are messing, I mean, he's messing with things he has no business being into. Not as a part-time drama teacher, hell, not even as a full-time economist in that. He can't even keep it. Yeah. First past the post. What happened there? And how many people actually believe that there wasn't a consensus out there after the platform? So if we're going to get all ethical, let's have a look. Okay, you know, we want to raise our children, and this is one of what Trudeau says. We want to raise our children, and what an example we're setting. Okay, so lying and then changing your story so the lie forms around what the picture you want to paint. That's okay for the kids. I'm using his words. So that's okay. But it's not okay for anybody else, but it's okay for him. To go to every other country and call your fellow countrymen not good people, personally, I get insulted. I get insulted that I got a man like that representing me. I don't know. Maybe a lot of you don't have your sights set very high. I don't know. Maybe you just hate being white. Maybe you hate being the race you are. I don't know. Maybe that's the truth. That's fine. Don't take it out on me. Go deal with it yourself. That's not government. Government doesn't belong in those places. You remember, those are our employees. We own them. They don't own us. The government doesn't own us. Or that's the way it should be. Anymore, the government does own us. I mean, we are one of the most heavily regulated countries in the world. And if I didn't know better, I'd say we had a country of children. Because every time something happens, oh, the government should do this. Oh, why doesn't the government do something about this? Well, here's one for you. Why don't we do something about it and let the government do what they're supposed to be doing, what they're actually elected to do? And that's govern the country, not babysit us. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out here we could be dealing with on a local basis that we had no idea. No, why is the government in there? Is that what we're paying for? And every time a regulation comes down a little bit more, your freedom goes away. I mean, you think about it. And I want people to think, and that's the big thing. Don't just take my word for it. Don't take Trudeau's word for it. Go out and bloody learn, read. History is one hell of a teacher. I've said this many times. Do you think this is all the first time any of this has happened? Do you think we're so far advanced from the 1600s, the 1700s? Do you think we've progressed that much with this so much smarter? No, we're in the loop. We're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it. You've heard that many times, and it's actually true. So what are we doing? There you go. Got a virtue signaling prime minister there telling everybody that, oh, you got to be more feminist. Oh, we got to be more inclusive. We got to have Islamophobia. We've got Motion 103, which is a precursor. Like, where the hell does all this come from? Are we that bad of people? And you really listen to your prime minister talk about you. And that's what he's talking about. He's not talking about just specific. He's talking about us as a whole, even the ones who voted for him. You're all bad people because, guilty because you're not a feminist, guilty because you're a white person, guilty because you didn't come from a prescribed area. Well, what did you go around? And this is what I don't get. And people buy this bullshit. So where is the problem? The problem mainly comes from people not understanding their own country, reading for 2 seconds, a minute, and that's it. and then they form an opinion, or they get on Facebook or some other thing where there's these one-line heroes that come out with gee, that was funny, that boy, he sure told them off. Okay, get real, learn, understand your country. Don't worry about what the Americans are doing. They're going to take care of themselves and they're doing just fine. Can you say the same about us? And I mean, if we've got to be out there sitting there beating the shit out of ourselves, thinking we're, you know, on one hand we're great and on the other hand we're not, which what I just told you, where are we? If we're going to be a country, we got to stand together. We've got a history. We have a culture. I know that's hard for some people to admit, but we do. Let's start living it. We got people coming here that, you know, have no intention of taking anything. And all I got to do is look out my backyard. A lot of these people coming in, they're not expected to integrate. They're all put together. It's like they left their country, but they're all together. So none of them are learning English. None of them know our culture. None of them know our regulations. They still think they're back in their country, that they can do what the hell they want. You know, like example, and one of my pet peeves is adults dropping garbage all over the ground out here every day. And I'll take some videos if nobody believes me. Why? And it's not because they haven't been told, because people local has told them, like, hey, come on, you guys, go walk over. The garbage dumpsters are right over there. Go put it in a dumpster. 30 seconds out of your day. You know, if you're carrying it, just don't drop it on the ground. And of course, their kids are the same way because they see the adults doing it. So where's the disconnect? That's it. You know, you're going to tell me I'm bad because, you know, we're you know, oh, you worked in mining, you terrible environmental. Well, then I look at this and I'm like, okay, where the hell are you people? Where's all these righteous people to tell these guys, you know, in this country we don't drop garbage all over the. And that's just an example. And there's a hell of a lot more, and I'm sure a lot of people will fill that in. But come on, have we sank that low? Are we that stupid? Like, really, people, come on, get with the program here. And it's like, I go back to being able to talk freely. And I mean, there's lots of examples where we're starting to lose that now. CBC, and I've said many times, I get banned from CBC. You consider the United Kingdom a free country. And if you said yes to that or you don't know, well, here, let me give you an example. Tommy Robinson with a Muslim rape gang. They call them grooming gangs. They use a very polite word, so it doesn't sound terrible. You know, raping, you know, kids up to, you know, women up to, or girls 11 years old and up. The police have been complicit in it. I mean, there's a big explosion. Obviously, if you've never heard about it, that just proves my point that you're not reading and you're not learning yourself. You never hear it. You don't hear it here. Tommy Robinson was reporting on it. Now, whether you believe him or not, or you follow him, it doesn't matter. Show me a case where anybody in our criminal justice system in the UK, because ours is based off the UK, where a person can be arrested, tried and convicted without their normal lawyer, even if they requested it, in 3 hours, in less than four, to be fair, less than 4 hours. Less than 4 hours. Sentenced to 13 months in prison. How is that possible? So for those who think, oh, it'll never happen here, you know, you're just blowing smoke, you know, that's just fear. No, that happened. And that was just a couple weeks ago. Most people say, yeah, it'll never happen here. Yeah, well, that's what they were saying in the UK, and look at it. And we ain't far behind. And really, that's not fear mongering, that's a fact. And if you don't think so, you think I'm fear mongering, tell me where we haven't lost any rights. Tell me. Tell me we haven't got a problem here. And Lord knows I've said this again many times. If we cannot talk to each other and have a decent conversation, at the very least, agree to disagree, we're in trouble. And that ain't going to go away. And right now, 2 years, 3 years of this idiot Trudeau. And this country is the most divided I've seen it. So stop worrying about the United States and start worrying about what's going on here and what this man is doing to this country. Because what he's doing to Canada is a damn shame. And you should not be proud. You should be hanging your head and saying, how the hell did we let this happen? And how do we prevent it from happening again? And if you don't agree with me, tell me why. Don't just say, you're an idiot, you're fear mongering and that. Okay, well, that doesn't tell anybody anything other than you've got no other argument and basically you're agreeing with me. So explain to me why you think he's done. Give examples. Let's go from there. You don't agree with me? Tell me why. Give me examples. You think he's right? Give examples why you think he's right. What he has done right. Okay, because we've got to go beyond just moral principles or what you think his moral principles are and do that. Remember, this is the guy that loves China and what he said about Castro. Now, don't forget those things. Those are facts. So please explain what he's done. And we can talk from there. Otherwise, I don't care. If you're just going to sit there and shout insults, that just proves that you're about as smart as he is, which isn't very, very smart at all. Yeah, insulting, gee, the truth hurts. Then don't watch. Go someplace else. Go to somebody you agree with rather than having a regular argument. I'm so freaking sick and tired of people sitting here saying, well, like I said at the start, I don't care about the facts. This is my opinion. And that is the sad, sad state of affairs of where we're at goddamn today. And you think that people's feelings aren't going to get hurt and these aren't going to get entrenched. And in a couple of years, everybody's just going to say, it was okay. We'll forgive everybody. You're mistaken. This rift is just going to make it real deep. And these divides will probably never go away if they're allowed to continue. So as Canadian, and whatever Trudeau says, I really don't care at this point in time, and neither should anybody else, is we as Canadians got to get together. We got to start talking to each other, and we got to start straightening stuff out. Because obviously he's not going to. So anyways, that's what I say. Why you agree with me, why you disagree with me, or just don't write a comment, please. Thank you.